All right, 4:20, let's go ahead and get the drainage committee meeting started. Let the record reflect that all members are present besides Mr. Mathern. Item number 1, request approval for culvert installation at 4910 Highway 308, Ward 1.
Jamie, this is the ditch, in front of the community center. And the reason why I wanted to put culverts in there, my employees weeded in the ditch, a couple of employees found a slip and fell. Trying to maintain that ditch, so I don't have enough money, left in my budget to do it. But after you go to item number 2 with the College Point Lane, project, whichever's remaining, I would like to apply for that project for next year.
All right, let's just table that. Let's come back to it at the end of the drainage
All right.
meeting. We may be able to find you some
All right,
funds from
all right.
somewhere. No action on item number 2, request approval to establish a drainage ditch on College Point Lane, Ward 1.
This is, the company I reached out to in an attempt to get a quote to survey it. They couldn't find anything that was surveyed in history that shows an actual established right of way with dimensions to flag, and they weren't gonna give us a quote on guessing where it is, which resulted us going back into revisiting the property line ditch on the backside of the residences. So this is a quote to establish that with some right of ways.
Are they willing to give that right away?
Yeah, these two, I've spoken to 2 residents that are, it's just, it would continue, I'm sorry, I should explain. The orange line in the beginning, that's an established ditch already that drains to the drain and clearly. It would just be continued on down that property line. But yeah, two people I spoke to, like they are willing. It's just, I would have to continue. I think there's 1, 2, there's 3 more. That would have to go with it.
You got a cross culvert going across 308 here?
Think so, right further down.
So this one, it's,
Some drains to the front and some drains to the field.
so let me, the one that crosses it there, it's south of this intersection. I have to go measure, see how many feet it is away.
Is there a ditch along 308?
Yes.
To get, to the cross?
With the intent to slope this from the back of the street to the 308? So that it follows back towards 308?
Yes. At this point, yes. If, in looking at the elevation, it can be done. The drainage where the ditch starts at on 308 is not deep at all. So it can be done. It can be done to drain this way without being too deep. It would be more like I would say more of a swell.
And that's a total price, 1,300?
Well, 2,300. I think 2,300.
No, it'd be 13. Again, but that's based on if the property owners allow us to bank the small.
I make a motion, continue that, property owner give you the right of way.
Just gotta make sure it'll drain properly then. All right, motion by Mr. Carter,
Thank you.
second by Mr. Blanchard. We got a total cost of $1,300. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, discuss drainage concern at 2373 Highway 308, Ward 2.
This is, given to me by Mr. Jeff to check out. It's a extremely deep, catch basin and outfall in the state's right away on 308. I've made a cost estimate to replace it. It's between 10 and 12 foot deep. So you see I have the rental of a shoring box and the rental of an excavator to accomplish it safely. Because of the depth, its vicinity to Highway 308, it will prevent us from sloping it back enough to not need a shoring box. So the cost estimate reflects that, everything. I would recommend it be something that we contract out.
We can't get no help with the state on this project?
I'm not sure. I could reach out and ask.
Is this another instance where the Jaws culverts failed in outfall or?
No, this one would be it's a separation between a metal culvert and the catch basin itself. They separated. And it's, if I'm not mistaken, talking to a couple of guys, at the office, it's about 16 to 20 years old. So long ago it was done.
We had performed this work?
To my knowledge, yes.
It's on private property?
Yes.
Jeff gonna have that kind of money in his budget.
He said he would take it out of,
On the gap money, I mean, that,
Like
not
five,
the
six
gap, what
of-
do you call it? The South Loop project,
9560.
that's what you have.
And you recommend that we go out for bid for this?
I would recommend it because it would shut 5 employees down for no less than 4 weeks to do. Just the depth of the excavation from around the catch basin completely and all the way to the bottom for the pipe, yeah.
Draw up a scope of work and, I say go out for 3 bids on it. See what it comes back. Good with that?
Like with the state.
Yeah, that's,
I'll
I'll
make a
make a
statement.
note to,
They'll put you on the waiting list.
We need a motion for that?
I motion that we, take off a bid with it for 3.
All right, motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Brewer, that we go off a bid on the
Obtain
2370.
quotes.
Take-
Obtain 3.
Yeah. Chain 3 vote, quotes for the 2373 Highway 308 project.
If the quotes come back such that it triggers us to go through a bidding process, then we'll have to do that.
Sounds good. All right. All approved?
Uh,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, request the approval to transfer the remaining balance of the Leash Road drainage canal.
Yeah, I put those on the
Ward
agenda.
3 drainage one.
This canal is from Libertyville Drainage Canal, goes to 398, approximately 800 feet past 398. I think it's something we can do in-house over a period of time. It's not pressing. It's been neglected for a long time, so we can just tackle it a little bit at a time with our equipment.
So you wanna put your full amount?
Yeah.
All right, that'd be $26,956.06.
Just keep in mind that it may not be exactly to that. If there's some other projects that have overages or unders,
Correct.
it could be plus or minus.
So whatever
The
it
balance,
is,
the
the
remaining
balance, the
balance.
remaining balance.
Correct.
Second that.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard, motion by Ms. Patero, second by Ms. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, request authorization for the parish to pay the pump electricity bill at 44-5 Highway 1012, Ward 4.
Yes, this person showed up at the office and dropped off this bill and said parish needs to pay it.
We got a copy of that bill somewhere?
Yeah, look at D5.
Be fine.
Drainage is probably paying it.
Apparently not. It's in his personal name. I don't know if, I don't know if you had communicated with him. I don't know if he wanted the district to pay it.
Who's been paid for drainage?
It's been him personally, I assume, his name on the account.
It's his fault.
I don't know what a pump is. I have
What a
no
pump
idea.
is.
Aaron, do you have any clue what his pump is?
Drainage one.
He just got dropped off the bill.
It's 445 Highway 1012.
Send it back to him.
that's the first set of pumps on the right. Down
So
1012.
Paul, what you know about this? I know you know something about it.
That's the pump that was installed before I was a parish manager. That was installed when Marty, I think when, Patrick Johnson got that pump installed from Mr. Landry about 8, 9 years ago. It's a 6-inch or 8-inch pump. It's a low lift pump. We installed the pump and the deck, and he agreed to pay the bill. I think it only drains one house, maybe two house, one livable house and another structure. I think that, don't quote me on this, but the agreement was for him to pay the bill.
Is this
You got it
address
right.
included in the recently created Lower Texas Drainage District?
That I do not know. I'm not familiar with
No,
that.
you said 444?
445.
445.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the single one.
That's the last pump on the left. You're right.
Last one.
We put it there. We built a deck and we put the pump there about 8 years ago.
And
Yeah, we
also-
just did some levee work on
Yes,
there.
sir, we did about 3 years ago. We redid the levee. We cut the levee.
The drainage district.
I don't know the boundaries of that drainage district. It wasn't at the time when I was in charge. But I know they've been redoing that
I
district.
think what probably happened is it wasn't, so he agreed, and now there's a district, so now he's like, well, now there's a district here. Okay.
Let's look into it to see if it's part of the
But
drainage.
this jury, or myself, we don't have the authority to spend that district's money. That board has
Right,
to.
No,
right.
Let's
Send
take
it
a
to the
look to
district.
see
Send it
if
to-
it was in the drainage district or not. And if it is, then we send the bill to the drainage district, see if they wanna pay it or not.
Alright. Ms. Torres, you can take care of that for us?
Sure.
All right, item number 5, request authorization for the parish, I'm sorry. That was 5. Item number 6, request approval to flush the following outfalls. 3555 LA 1 Tobias Lafourche, Oakley Road, Tobias Lafourche, Georgette Street, Tobias Lafourche.
And, 3555, there's something under the highway, it's probably a crushed culvert. But what I'd like to do is to clean it from the buyer and also from the ditch of the residents, okay? To see where the obstruction is, and then let the highway department dig it from there. I've been putting this on since the last 8 months.
Mr. Brewer, can I ask you a question? All these 3 identified roads, are these roads within the Mare project that you're currently working on? Or this is outside of the scope? of the
Yeah,
3 roads?
It's within that project, that 3555 is on the edge of the drainage district. But we bid to the drainage district. It goes all the way to Awesome.
The one in the 3,000 block of Highway 1 that reached out to the state, they didn't make it to the buyer. So it stopped
Just stop under the
some
highway.
distance. They couldn't tell me if it was under the road or past the road.
That's where the concrete is sinking.
All right, so in this, it would, like I said, I don't know what they're gonna do on their end from it, like where they stopped.
It's flooding.
Yeah, and so like I said, that's what I've correlated with them. So I don't know if they're gonna wanna replace,
Yeah.
there's whatever's in there right away.
That's mostly all on the state right away.
So for
Correct.
Georgette?
Just you talking about that block location?
Yes.
So except some of it, they may have a small piece on the bayou side that's not, I'd have to look at the overhead view.
It's hard to find Georgette. That's how stopped up it is. We found it though. And that's one of the churches in Maury area. That's why it flooded. Everything going to the highway is stopped up. There's the same thing with Conscian Road. It has to go to the highway and to Spring Mill.
So
I've been
the,
putting that on the agenda, trying to get this cleaned up some kind of way. It's stopped up, then we're gonna have to look at the pumps. Maybe we don't need the pumps if everything's open.
Aaron. I know it's a state, right away there, but on the bayou, on the bachelor side, how soon can we get a machine in there to clean up the trees to see where this culvert is?
We know what it covered.
Yeah, but we gotta clean it to also
Just
see
flush
what's
it
going
out.
on. You gotta do more than flush it out.
at this time, it would,
3 weeks.
I don't know where they finish, and then it, like, depending on how the Mike Street thing goes, if we could start that.
It might need to be done while it's dry.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, right now we scheduled out for 3 weeks. So like we have the things in place for 3 weeks right now.
Can you send us that list?
Okay.
Or let's get in touch with the state to try to do this too, clean it out, see what happens.
All right, you got a motion on the floor, Mr.? You got a job?
What motion you want, Mr. Charles?
I'd like to clean out those culverts, the outfalls,
All right,
go on to those free areas.
get us a price, get us a price for that to do it in-house.
Yeah, there's problems finding it, whoever goes there, call me, I'll show them where it is,
That's
especially Georgette.
Most of it should be just regular maintenance, clean the covers out.
Yeah,
Well, now, yeah,
that's what I thought, you just flush it out.
Trees to get out the way, to even find the
I might
culverts.
have to dig a ditch to Georgia, to the Murray.
Yeah, I really think some of these
Stop,
outfalls that are right into the bayou, that we need to have some discussions with,
The state.
no, with the freshwater district. Because I think a lot of these issues that we're having at these outfalls are due to the dredging that was done in the bayou. And, you know, like this culvert that we talked about earlier, sloughing down out of the catch basin. The jaws all up and down the bayou is slipping because there's no doubt that the bank has slid closer to the bayou. The evidence is there. I don't know how much of that relies on them, but I think we need to bring them into into this conversation to see, but they have the equipment to be able to clean up from the bayou.
oh, yeah, yeah, they do.
And if we can ask them to clean up from the bayou coming up the outfall instead of us cleaning from the top down, you know, they may be able to clean coming from the bayou. If it's their culvert, I don't know if these are open or if they're culverts in the outfall itself.
So that's from somebody going and look, you can't physically see it like in the trees, like something that is probably silted over.
It's grown.
Like, you know, it's just kinda-
Never no maintenance. Once the culverts were put down, the trees was never cleared out again after.
Right. If there, I don't know if there is culverts that go all the way to the bayou, or do they just cross under the road?
Well, the freshwater district is in the bayou right now cleaning up vegetation debris that fell from the storm. So I don't know if someone can reach out to them and ask them, can they put can they put their eyes on it while they're in the bayou now, at those various mile marker points.
Let's do that route. I think it's a good idea. Leroy, you can reach out to them,
Sure.
share that for us. Thank you. All right, no action on it. Item number 6, Leroy is gonna reach out to the freshwater district, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
All right, item number 7, request the approval to clean out the following outfall, Conscience Road to Bayou, same thing there. All right, no action there. Leroy, take care of that one for us too. Thank you, sir. Add that one to your list.
Water's not good now.
Item number 8, request the approval for the following overages. Project 93-162. A total cost of $887, Ward 4.
So that one, in looking into it this afternoon, the two invoices that we had that were charged to that, for MC Electric and Lafayette Electric came in both under what was originally allocated. So I don't know where the overage would be. Cause what was charged came out to $10,499.46. And what was originally allocated was $12,712.92. And that's, like I said, I don't know what was over.
We had any invoices, anything? that came
Unless-
in?
That's contrary to what I pulled.
Yes, they had something else, like besides those two?
No, did you request copies of all of it, what the billing was?
No, I was just calling Miss Rieta this afternoon, and that was the two that were like on that project.
Just take it out at the next meeting.
All right, what about project 93-205, culvert replacement for Junior
90
Street? 1,000. 93-205
and 93-194 are not in fact overages. What happened on these two is that the funding came from a different ward because the original person was out of money. Once the projects got completed, they ended up having enough funding to cover it. So it's actually making the allocation from the actual ward, not from the other person's ward. So it's not really an overage, it's just a reallocation.
Okay.
And it's also freeing up the money from the other ward that was put.
Thank you, I know I was getting that 3,000 from.
What about project number
And then,
9?
93202, you can also table that one. That one has been taken care of. So just approve the reallocations, 93205 and 93194, and I will look further into 93162.
All right.
I'm making a motion to approve those. Second.
Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ms. Kim, when I sent you those project numbers, like the other ones from the other wards that gave that ward money, those were different than that project number? Like that's what you're saying, okay. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Okay,
they had to get a whole different project number to get out,
Yeah,
to
that's-
come out of their money.
that's my fault.
Yes.
Item number 9, request approval to allocate the funds, the remaining funds, I assume, $1,000 to Piedport Settlement Drainage District levy maintenance, Ward 7. $1,000 to the Bayou Piedport North Drainage District maintenance, levy maintenance, Ward 7. $1,000 to the Derrick Street Drainage District levy maintenance, Ward 7. $6,052.89 to the Belrose Lane Drainage Project, Ward 7.
And that last figure will just be the balance of
Okay.
what's left after, whatever else is settled for Ward 7.
Okay, I don't know what Derrick Street Drainage District is. Is there another name?
Yes. Voluntary Drainage District.
Oh, it's a voluntary.
I mean, it is.
So who we don't cut a check to an individual for voluntary drainage district.
No, this would be just a project created.
Okay, and they'll just still gonna
Under-
bill us, okay.
Yeah, just a project
It's
created.
a project,
under
not a
Ward 7.
district, okay.
Correct.
But the other two are actually districts. We sending that to the districts, or you wanna withhold it
No,
here?
let's,
just for-
let's hold it here.
Let's hold
in
it
a-
here,
in a-
okay.
Right, create the project. That way, whenever I
Projects,
get access to the machine, I have
You have
some
the
hours
available.
right.
Okay,
Right, motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, request approval for culvert replacement at 172 403 Ward 6.
No action, it was, it could just be completed, for the work on.
All right, item number 11, request approval for culvert replacement at 117 Touch Street, Ward 8.
Yeah, we have two culverts found by a guy that was blowing out culverts that are collapsed. It's a viable project for restore drainage.
Total cost of $1,050.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Patterson, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss updates, quotes on the levee improvements behind Kirk Street. And let's do both of them. And, yeah, Street, same thing.
I reprinted the cost estimate that we had done for, the Giat Street levy. Everything is still the same. There's no additional funds or anything needed, just the.
But then,
same
Drainage
amount.
District,
Voluntary. All right, so I would like to take the remaining balance of my drainage funds and add it to these, split it between these two,
So
projects.
it's, I assume Kirk Blanchard, that's different locations?
Yes,
Cause I don't see a 12 on here, so is it a different cost estimate?
it's a different one.
Yeah, so the one that's in there for Giat Street, Oak Lane levy, that's gonna be number 13.
What about number 12?
12, no cost estimate was done.
No cost
The really, going back and forth with having a scope of work to do a cost estimate in between hauling material and not, that's why one was not completed for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna split the remaining balance in between the two projects. It's a project somewhere on the books. I don't see it in the drainage, but it was there at one time.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard. Second by Mr. Bro, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So
Oh, yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Blanchard.
deviate,
I got if I want a couple deviation. Yeah, it'd be 5 of them.
Ah,
Yeah, the 3 here and then the 2 that came late this afternoon. Those
let me
three.
ask you this, before we, is there any way you're gonna get to these projects before the end of the year?
well, My Street,
The Mike Street one for sure. Yeah, the only one that might be a little while would be the one in Ward 5. Ward 4 would, somebody could do a while, like in transit from one area to another.
why the project didn't make that, Jim? In fact,
The one for Ward 4 was a complaint that got called into the office on Friday. Like Friday afternoon.
is it emergency?
I mean, there's a completely collapsed culvert there.
Considering this the last
Yeah, I think.
meeting for the year that we're
Yeah, I mean, it's
addressing drainage issues, I
Any,
don't see a problem.
like these,
But it's not, we really got some time, because I don't close things out till December. So November's our last meetings.
So we can put these for the next meeting.
Well,
Because that-
Well,
you requested a couple of years ago.
Not in
that the
October,
First
Jamie.
meeting
Mm,
in,
Not in October.
My Street.
first meeting in November would be the
So we need to do
last,
something.
because we couldn't do any, we close it out. It'll come November 1st.
Well, we're not there yet. We're not to the first meeting in November.
We don't have a meeting in,
We do.
November. The first of November.
Oh, yeah, I see what he's saying. He thought it
The
was
first
of
meeting in
November.
November.
We got, yeah, the first meeting in the
Yeah.
13th, it's gonna be November 13th. So
You
technically.
got time?
We got time.
All right, let's table this to the next meeting.
Well, we got them on my street, he needs an answer on my street.
You ain't gonna start this before the next meeting, I promise you.
And maybe so,
No,
it's
no.
dry weather. And we both talk, we could have it done already, go ahead, brother.
Need a motion to DD.
Motion DBA.
Motion to deviate by Mr. Montgomery. Second by Mr. Brook. All in favor? Any opposed?
so on the print for the plan for Mike Street levy, there's a possibility of having to rent some travel mats, depending on where the trucks will be passing, hauling the material. On a right of way, we would get on a private section of road. So the only additional thing here I added was the rental for the mats, if we have to go that route, so it's there. And an update on the parish labor, noting the resolution approved by the drainage district for $4,000 of labor.
And Mike, yeah, Victor, you all right with it?
Yeah, I have no issue with that.
Okay, good. So that's what we really want to know.
Yeah, no issue.
Yep.
So what you need a motion or something?
Yeah, because it needs a
Okay.
motion to get to be a project, because it didn't happen last week.
Motion.
But there, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this is a project they're creating under a drainage project. The materials is being funded by an already allocated source, which is Gomesa, and the labor is being funded by the drainage district. I don't know why the parish is creating a drainage project for it.
Yeah, last meeting, we had parish labor on it, this one we don't.
But we just want to clarify tonight's meeting that it's all right for the drainage district to go ahead and that $4,000 out there to flag it. Right? So we need.
Yeah,
And they
that,
provided their resolution.
Right, and it
Yeah.
is, so everything's good. Aaron just want to clarify to me that it's good, right?
that and the additional funding that would need to be allocated.
But he already has that in case he needs it.
So,
Yeah.
It's
so
there already.
is the purpose of the item so that we can approve the allocation coming out of the Gomesa funds for the material?
Yes.
Like to authorize that
That's what you
project to
have to
proceed
That's.
under
what-
that?
Yes, yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what Aaron asked for.
So
That's what the motion needs to read.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the spending of the Gomesa funds allocated to the Ward 789 levy improvements to this Mike Street levy project.
if we need it, yeah.
You mean,
Motion.
need it?
We may not have to use it. We may not have to use the math, he want
Just
35.
Myron, just,
Alright,
just
before-
second it if you want to.
Second,
Second, before we vote, public call, first call, second call, third call, no public comment, right?
motion.
All in, right, you got,
I'm here. I came in late. I'm sorry.
can you please come up? Sorry. State your name for the
My
record.
name is Velma Anderson and I bought a piece of property down Popcorn Lane.
And is it anything to do with this item here,
I
man?
don't know. That's.
No.
It's just on this item right here that
Oh,
we
I'm sorry.
need public comment. You can,
You can get a chance.
Just hold tight, you'll have a chance.
right,
Motion.
motion by Ms.
He made a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn. Ms. Blanchard, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
All right, we'll go ahead and get the finance committee meeting called to order. All members are present except for Mr. Nakhan. First item, request approval to pay list of bills submitted through October 18th, 24.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, request approval of budget comparison statements for September 2024. All in your packet.
Yeah, just no recommendations for a plan of action, just, recommend your approval.
Motion to accept the report.
Motion to accept the budget comparison statements by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Finance committee meeting adjourned.
Personnel committee meeting started. Let the record reflect all members are present except Mr. Nakane. Item number one, approve the end of probationary period for part-time maintenance work effective October 18th, 2024.
That's my recommendation.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Pondville, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Pass. Item two, approval of the end of probationary period for Parish manager effective October 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Motion,
Motion by Mr.
y'all wanna
Porter.
go in the back? Discuss some of this?
I'm good with it. It's up to you. I'm good with it.
Motion to enter executive session.
Motion by Mr. Pondville. No,
Not on that either.
No, there you.
All right, I'll second it.
second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor? Any nays? Motion by Mr. Carter to enter into
Second.
regular session, second by Mr. Palmville, all in favor? Any nays? All right. Request approval to end the probationary period of parish manager effective October 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Any nays? Pass. Item 2, request approval of end of probationary period for OSAP director effective October 30th, 2024.
But before we vote on this, I just have a question for you. In this hurricane responses related to DRC, can you give us an update as to where we are?
Yes, DRC for the last, and that's gonna be a conversation at a different time period. But DRC has, I'd say, kind of, I don't want to use the word abandon the parish, but has left us with small resources to get the debris out of this parish. Currently, we're still operating with 2 30-yard truck trailers, gooseneck trailers. We've been at that for about 10 to 12 days. The crews are picking up there, and I appreciate the work they're doing, but it's just that if they'd provided us with more equipment, we'd be finished by now. We're not. We're coming out of Bar Lewis. They almost wrapped up in Bar Lewis. We have a couple more streets left, and I think Ward 8. And we're gonna, as we move out of Wards 3 and 8 and move our way towards Ezekiel Street, we're gonna get everything we can, and then we have to go back and get a little bit C and D. I tried to contact the state a while ago to see, because I called the state Monday morning to see if they'd give me an answer if they would make a second pass on the state right of ways. I have yet to get an answer from them. So barring the fact, I'll get with you tomorrow, if I cannot get an answer from the superiors at the state over there, we may have to go to our congressional, you may have to make some calls, because the state is responsible for the state right of way. We cannot get reimbursed as a parish. I've checked with GoSept on that fact to date. If we go on a state right away and pick up debris, we cannot get reimbursed for FEMA. Only the state can do that. That's their jurisdiction on a state right away. So if the state decides to leave the rest out there and we have to go with our parish equipment, then we have to eat that cost. So hopefully I'll get an answer tomorrow from the state, or the next day, me and you may have to make some phone calls above the people in Napoleonville, because it is their responsibility. Now on the parish side, supposedly they put on a 3rd truck today with DRC. I know it's just another 30-yard gooseneck. It's not an 80-yard self-loader like they had that first came in here and for the first 6 to 8 days and took what they wanted and left. So I'll be riding 6:30 in the morning tomorrow. It probably won't be tomorrow. Maybe Monday or Tuesday we'll be finished.
And now, or now?
For the first pass
For
of
the first pass with
all vegetation?
With all vegetative debris, we should probably be finished.
You sure?
I don't think.
I don't
I
believe it.
got
Well, I had a lot of money in
No,
it, man.
Paul.
Oh, they got piles that they pass by, because if you got a mattress on top of your debris, they just pass by the whole pile instead of just knocking it off and getting the pile up.
There was a reason, and I didn't want to get into the first trucks that came in, they just came in this patch and they pillaged the big piles and they made their money and left. I don't want to say anything, I don't want to say anything different. But these trucks that are here now are local people. We got a guy from Napoleonville with a truck, we got a guy from across the bayou from Napoleonville with a truck, that a guy from Kenner. They just came in today with a 3rd truck. But I've asked DRC to come up with, to supply us with more trucks, and they just won't, I don't know whether they stretch to the limit, they say trucks are gonna be in, they just don't show up. And I can't fix that problem. We're doing the best we can with the trucks we have. But I know Bar Lewis is gonna be finished tomorrow. I know that. And I rode Ward 9 2-3 days ago, and then those trucks were in Ward 9 and they were moving into Ward 8. And they said that, and I know there's some in your wards. Ward 5 has some in the back in the Bruce St. In Vincent, and there are some piles in Ward 7 and Ward 8. I rode that Friday. Those hadn't been touched yet. But if they can go at the rate they're going, I don't see why the middle of next week, if they continue with no broken equipment with those 3 trucks, they should get most of that on the first pass, all the debris out.
So will you contact the jail before you close this?
No, yes, sir. Don't worry. I'll ride every day. I'll make sure
This is the
that we
first
won't
pass.
close that out till I ride this parish. That's for sure.
I know it may not be really binding, but I think we ought to issue an amended notice to proceed to them with a date, just to see if we can get a reaction to it from them.
And I have no issue with that.
So
That's the only thing I saw relative to, the notice to proceed. It just didn't have an end date. So I think that really needs to be discussed. If you want to file an amended one, I think that's acceptable under the circumstance.
So I make a motion that you, amend the notice to proceed to them dated tomorrow and advise them on that they have 2 weeks to complete the pickup,
That's vegetative seed, everything?
everything,
Okay,
Yeah, they had enough time.
from today.
from tomorrow.
From tomorrow.
Second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Okay, motion, we still have to make
All right.
approval.
Motion to approve the end of probation
Motion by
period.
Mr. Palmville,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Any nays? Passed. Item 4, request approval of FMLA leave for accountant.
Yes, I have an accountant that's outtake due to, medical care for her, mother, and we need at least 4 weeks.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by
Second.
Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Nays? Item 5, request approval for job title change for equipment operator 1, grade 5, step 12. Equipment operator 2, grade 5, step 18.
Yeah, this employee showing proficiency in all the required equipment to receive the job title change. I recommend it.
Aaron, just in the future, I would like to start seeing, notice who the employee is. Because we be out there sometimes, we watching these employee works. Right now, we don't even know who this employee is, you know what I'm
There
saying?
should be an addendum. Did you have to be brought?
Oh, I didn't see where
It's
that.
in it. I mean, it won't ever-
And look, gentlemen, this was my request on, I guess, the meetings past. Rather than putting, informational names on the agenda itself, we're just providing addendums, for, topic sensitive issues. So that's why, Aaron provided the materials that he did.
Okay, all right, have no problem with it.
Motion by Mr. Palmville,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion passed. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So
Mr. Palmville, second by Mr. Carter. In favor? Any adjourned?
All right, get started, road and bridge. Let the record reflect, everyone is present. 3 items, request approval to send, DOTD a letter requesting to remove bumps from LA1 from Labville Primary to the Foos Parish line, Ward 4.
Motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Pineville, got a second by Mr. Bro, all in favor?
Aye.
Item number 2, request approval to send, DOTD a letter requesting to sweep out the ditch from Pecan Grove subdivision to the outfall on 308, Ward 4.
Make that motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Bro.
Thing is, we had, 4 houses on Pecan Grove flooded because of that ditch.
Second.
They poisoned it, but then the grass in it looks like bamboo. And they ought to sweep it out because it's holding back.
Got a second by Mr. Pineville, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, motion carried. 3rd item, request approval to fix road at 438 Highway 1012, Ward 4.
It's, the highway is breaking because it's the last house on the right. When they blacktop the road, they didn't put a little apron for the driveway, and it's breaking up the blacktop. It's about a 8-inch to a foot drop. So we'd like a little apron there just for that drive and fix the blacktop. It's tearing it up.
So you want to fix the apron, the entrance apron
And also the highway where it's breaking. It's breaking up because there's no apron.
and the highway.
That's the state highway?
Yeah.
The state highway.
Yeah.
That's the last one on the right.
Good luck.
All right, so we got a motion by Mr. Bro to send a letter to DOTD to fix the road, at 438 Highway 1012. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Fonville, all in favor? All opposed, ayes have it, motion carried, motion to adjourn.
Can you give an update on road program?
I don't have-
Do we have anything?
Hopefully, Mr. Sidewalk be in, he can give it, we'll revisit something. Should be coming through. a little.
Motion. One item before, so, we have 45 days, from today to submit, written comments, and statements to DOTD regarding the highway priority program. So we have time, we'll put it on the November 13th agenda. But I just want to let y'all know prior to that, that we're gonna get the list of parish roads in the priority to submit to our delegation.
Well, we can add that, we can add 1012, right?
Well, we can't, but these were specific letters that
Okay,
Mr.
all
Bro
right, okay.
requested. This is gonna be to the committee,
Gotcha.
to the Road and Bridge
Gotcha,
Committee.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right.
Right, so
Anything
we'll
else,
have
bro?
that on the November 13th agenda.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Pineville, second, Mr. Bro, all in favor? Motion carried, meeting adjourned.
We get the Engineering Grants Committee meeting started. Let the record reflect that Chairman Knopfler is not here. First item, update from GIS Engineering.
Good afternoon, Jerry. Dwayne Vayon, GIS Engineering. Joe Lamar, still on hold, waiting on funding source. As far as Bertrandville and Belrose, this afternoon, we had our pre-bid conference for both of them. Between the two of them, we had 7 contractors show up to the meetings. It was a non-mandatory, which we're hoping additional people that just couldn't make it. So that's why we made it non-mandatory, but we had a good turnout, I feel. So we're waiting on those projects to continue on in the advertisement stage, and we have a window that's gonna go out on November the 7th, and I believe the bid opening is on the 12th.
So any items that were brought up by the contractors, any deficiencies in the plans or anything will be addressed in the addendum?
Correct. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna issue an addenda as soon as possible, which will have the sign-in sheet and the meeting minutes from that. And then the last addenda will be, the deadline for them to submit questions is November 5th, and we'll turn it around November 7th and issue everything out.
Okay, and when is our bid receipt date?
I believe it's November 12th, if I remember right, for both projects. Constant Canal, the modeling is complete, and we prepared, we plan on preparing and submitting this to OCD LWI in around mid-November. I don't see Plottonville on here, but I'll refer that to Joseph as far as the start date. I don't know if you've heard anything, Mr. Alcorn.
Start date on Plotville?
Yes, sir.
Last I found out, the contractor that was awarded is, doing his scheduling.
Okay,
So that's where we're at right now. So that should be coming any day.
okay.
When they're gonna start to mobilize, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds good. Mr. Salvo was in attendance for the 2 drainage projects. He did advise me that he was gonna be making a meeting, so I expect him to be able to answer any other questions regarding that. Anything else? Any questions, gentlemen? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Update from the Duplantis Design Group.
Good afternoon, Ty Westerman with DDG. Mr. Joe Guillory got caught in some traffic, so he asked me to call him and put him on speaker. I think he has some deliverables too that he's gonna show up with in a little bit and give to you.
Hey, man.
Hey, Joe, I got you on speaker.
Hi, Joe, Leroy here. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, can y'all hear us?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, I apologize, guys. I caught the train twice. So, I got the deliverables. I'll be there as soon as I can. You guys got an email from me this week. Have y'all taken a look at everything? We were hoping to schedule a meeting with you guys to come and talk, about the assessment. Have y'all looked at that yet?
Yeah, we actually talked about it earlier tonight. We're gonna schedule a meeting sometime next week. We're gonna email everyone to get dates that everyone's available.
Okay, all right, good deal. So I'll have a hard copy for you when I get there. And then we'll schedule a meeting when you guys are ready. The other permit, we got the one permit done, but the levy permit, we're still going through some RFIs. All the cultural field work is done. And we're submitting everything. So we're kind of just in limbo, waiting to hear back from Office of Coastal Management and the Corps. So.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for him?
All right, thank you, Joe.
I'll be there in a few minutes with the deliverables and I'll just hand them to you guys.
All right, thank you.
you.
Update from Infinity Engineering on parish-wide sewer plant projects. Mr. Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So on the technical side, we received the survey, a signed survey from Rieta. We're working on fixing the site plan for Ewell, Virginia. We're basically 98, 99% on the drawing package. We still have some work to do with the front ends. One of our document controllers is working with Rieta to get that tied up. I was asked this morning by Raul, one of our principals, to remove Ewell, Virginia costs from the project, as it might be a solution to fast track any delays, because we have a deadline of November 15th to get permission from OCD to go to bid. I was asked to remove Ewell, Virginia, and the thought process was that we could bypass the rate study, which I found out is not actually accurate. The rate study has to be done either way. But I was able to do the estimating, and the whole point of it was to see what portions of the Ewell, Virginia scope could we do with the total funds allowed without completing the total project within the complete bid package. And that would be running the gravity line down either Ewell or Virginia, putting in the manholes, the clean out connections, and install the lift station and have it ready for when the rest of the system is installed. It wouldn't be usable until all of the houses are connected, because the lift station and the treatment plant are sized for the full capacity of Ewell and Virginia streets. And I mentioned the November 15th deadline to get permission to go to bid from OCD. And I think that's a hard deadline. So, and the only thing holding it up is the rate study. And I know the rate study was denied for reasons I'm not totally familiar with. But Ebony Bailey is she's with South Central Planning. She's here tonight on agenda item number 5. And I've been speaking to her today. I was hoping that she could follow up my comments with what she's going to present, just to keep it all in one conversation, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, so I think Ebony should be there.
Hi, hello. I'm Ebony Bailey with South Central Planning. To kind of piggyback on what he said, OCD, you guys had signed the resolution and Rayad had sent that off to the Office of Community Development. They did deny it because they said the rate study was not complete. And so we had a meeting with OCD to understand why they would deny it, because their standard procedure from per the rate study individual consultant was they don't finalize it. They send it to the state first to get the state's feedback and comments, and then they'll send it to us. So the conversation we had was Tracy's concern is that, one, funding is coming from the general fund, and therefore a future administration may be able to change that practice. And so they'd like to see a dedicated fund for the sewer system. And then the second concern was about the rates itself. Although the state's designated consultant recommended increase of the rates incrementally over the next couple of years, the state has stated that in their guidelines, they want to see the rates implemented in year 1. And that's so that the system can essentially be self-sustaining, and they want a self-sustaining rate of 1.5. So what that would unfortunately do to the rates, and that's a topic that you guys are going to have to look at tonight. I do have an update for you guys to look at. Is it okay? Am I allowed to pass this? Okay. Thank you. If you can just pass one of each to everybody, I'd appreciate it. While he's passing that out, essentially the rates would go from 24 was what they're currently at. And to meet the sustainability rate, they would have to go up to 55. So that would take the current rate from 288 to about 660 a year annually. So we asked, well, that's an extreme you know, what options does the parish have? And the response was, it's very limited. The only one that they have approved was that a rate increase was done in months as opposed to a couple of years. So what he's passing out, the first thing, it's titled the Assumption Sewer Upgrade Update. On there is basically what has happened to date. But on the back, at the bottom, you'll see some options for you guys to consider. The first thing would, of course, be to opt not to pursue the $2 million grant for this project. The second one would be to update the rates to 55 in the first year of the grant. Doing so would prevent the need to raise the rates of the sewer system for the next 10 years. But I understand, as someone who also pays bills in my own house, that's a little extreme. And the third option would be to discuss, to petition a water commission. That was something Tracy said is an alternative option. Although to be honest, she wasn't optimistic about it. I would say personally, this is my non-SCP opinion, before you guys opt not to pursue it, I do recommend you examine all options, but that's just my personal opinion before you decide to bypass this, because I think it is a beneficial system. So you could go before the commission. We did see when the next commission date is. They don't have one set at this time. They asked us to kind of keep an eye out for when that was going to be occurring. They do anticipate having one this year, but it does not seem like that's going to occur before the November 15th deadline. So on there, just to kind of, does anyone have questions, I should say, before I continue? That's a lot that I just threw at you.
First of all, that's outrageous
Yeah.
to go up 100%.
Over 100%.
Over 100% on this project to the residents. It's not gonna happen. I'm not going to commit political suicide on my own self with this.
It's not suicide, it's that
It
you're
can't
killing,
happen. It ain't
you're
happening.
killing the people. I mean, these sewer systems are supposed to be put into low to moderate income areas, okay? And now all of a sudden, they wanna do 100+ increase. As the police jail for you in Virginia, that option is out the way. They can keep the sewer system. Cause I'm not gonna ask the people to pay $55. In the private sector, in the parish, they're not paying that rate.
They pay more than that in some
No,
areas.
no, they're not. Not in
What
Assumption Parish. Not in Assumption
happened
Parish.
here is that we never kept up, the parish never kept up with the rates throughout the year.
And I agree with
Always
you.
was charged a lower
Yeah.
rate, we
I
never
agree.
kept up.
I
And that's
understand
why
that.
it's such a shock.
I understand that, but still, I know Dawsonville, Greenbrier, Lucky Hit, that's all private sectors. They're not paying $55 a month.
They in the 30s.
They pay $30.
Huh?
Sure it's $30.
No, they pay between 33 and 36. It's built on the usage.
So I guess what we need to look at is, what do we need to do to meet the November 15th deadline before we lose all the funding?
Well, we only really get what, 1.4, 1.6 from them? Because we put up a match. We put up a match to apply for that grant, right?
Yes.
So I don't foresee that we could meet it, bro, unless there's something could come out the sky, bro, because it's right there upon us. And it's a shame that
Well,
we have been working hard to try to get this completed. Y'all been working on it, and OCD has been putting red tape after red tape after red tape with this. So I don't know. I say we want to go ahead and petition it. We can separate the U of Virginia because that looked like the bulk of the, not the bulk of it, but most of that 1.4, 1.6, and we were gonna apply some of that 4.2 million of the RA money to it to cover U of Virginia sewer system, treatment plant. I think we go out for 30-day bid on the existing plants and get them up. They're already on the spoke wheel. We need to get them fixed. That's not an option. They need to be fixed because we steadily spending.
Fix what we have, yeah.
Gotta fix it. We gotta fix what we got.
I don't know, a possible path forward, and I don't, maybe you tell me if this is not feasible, but we table the U of Virginia project go out to bid on the others, then use some of this, the recovery money to create a sewer subsidy fund so that we can get a rate that's reasonable for the residents, and then we have a pot of money that's now allocated to sewer. That may be acceptable to OCD, but that will mean that we can't put U of Virginia in at this time.
The only
So- So I could speak to that. I spoke to Suzanne, who's works for OCD earlier. Any change to the scope requires water sector approval. So if you take U of Virginia out, you have to go to them to get that approved.
Wait, you just asked us if we wanted to move forward with the others going out to bid.
No. Yeah,
Did I misunderstand with that?
So you're
well,
saying,
I was asked to do some estimating of what money could be spent if that was a possibility. After I did that, I was thinking, well, I had to send the drawings to OCD for scope approval to make sure that what's in the bid package is compliant with the RFQ. And any change, any additions or subtractions from the bid package of what's listed in the RFQ needs water sector approval.
They don't even, I don't think we have a.
They won't have a meeting before the November 15th deadline.
And that's my biggest concern. Just time running out before the 15th. I'm not sure if an extension can be had by the 15th. I'm not sure about that.
Miss
That-
Ebony, did Miss Tracy say anything about a potential extension or?
Unfortunately, she's not gonna grant one. The only way that we'd be able to do that is to go before the Water Sector Commission. And unfortunately, we did call to verify if they were gonna have another meeting set, and they don't have one set at this time. So given the changes that we need by the November the 15th deadline, it's very unlikely that we'd be able to proceed, unfortunately.
She has also stated that we are not the only parish facing this matter and funds have already been returned. So she will not change her decision for just our parish when other parishes have returned funds.
so you're turning up.
Yeah, and if I could make just one last comment, anytime we deal with OCD, it is just the biggest pain and you have to check so many boxes. And I mean, I would like to see the parish, get this money and upgrade their sewer systems. But I've seen before, people just put their hands up and say, this really isn't worth it sometimes. But I can see why this is so frustrating.
If I may, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I heard you guys, oh, I'm sorry. I believe I heard you guys talking about a possible meeting this upcoming week. Are all of you guys doing a possible meeting? Is that everyone or is that?
That was a small meeting.
Okay, I was gonna recommend maybe connecting with OCD and just seeing, if they're able to possibly put something together to, if you decided to petition it. Because to his point, it is a lot of money and you guys need the upgrade to the system. So, and a lot of work has been put into it, which is really unfortunate. That this is what they decided.
So Kim, what did you did say, you spoke to somebody in other parishes been going through some of the same things we're going through?
You're not gonna ask people to pay that kind of money.
Because they're looking for self-sustaining systems. And most parishes are not running self-sustaining systems. They're having to contribute.
Okay.
And OCD that's not what they're looking for.
Something they can have their money back, for what I'm concerned.
The federal government gave the state, that's part of infrastructure money. And they're setting the criteria on what they're looking.
But we've talked about this before, gentlemen, grants 25 years ago are different than what they are today. Today, 25 years ago, they were giving you money and they weren't looking 10 years out. Now they're looking at the money they gave you 25 years ago and the systems are falling apart. And you didn't maintain it. And I'm not talking about just us, but those systems are not maintained, so they feel their money is going. So now, okay, where's your capital operations and maintenance money? How are you going to sustain it for 10 years moving forward? Times have changed.
You'll be in the same situation we're in now 20 years from now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not even 10, because 20, because this is a 10-year perspective.
Not enough money was being collected from the gate.
I mean, they put the grid right there, we paying $100,000 a year maintenance on that. when the money run out, where we can get that $100,000 from? For the gates back there, they put up back there.
Oh, what you said?
Yeah.
I don't think we stopped paying.
No, we didn't pay anything.
We
They
didn't
never
pay
billed
it
for it.
yet,
Let's not
but
go
that
back.
was an agreement though.
That was the agreement.
But we ain't paid it yet.
I didn't agree to that.
That's-
You wasn't here, you
We
wasn't
have
here, you wasn't
that,
here.
we
you
have
wasn't
that
here.
restore money, and that's what that has been said it's gonna be
Yeah.
used for, but they have
Yeah,
not.
yeah, we ain't paid nothing to it yet. So, I mean,
You ain't know that?
I knew, but I didn't agree to it.
All right, move on.
so can we, I
So,
mean,
so just to let you all know, we know what the criteria is for the water sector money. On the American Recovery Act money, we have $3.9 million that has been allocated to this project,
that's right,
okay?
that's
We
right.
have 205,000 that's unallocated.
That was the 2.5, that was the match?
No,
It
that's
wasn't
just unallocated.
Okay,
We really had 4.2.
that's what I know we did.
Yes, so $3.9 million and some change allocated to this project, okay? We have already paid Infinity Engineering $357,605, okay? OCD is not gonna reimburse us for this, so
No.
that's gonna have to come out of that 3.9 million.
Okay.
And that billing of that 357,600 is through August 31st. I'm sure we're gonna have some more,
Oh, this year.
yes, September and October, all the work they've been doing.
Hey, y'all not, you just say you're not, Brian, you're 98, almost 99% finished with the plans?
Yes, sir. The only thing missing is some legal front-end documents. That's just, contract documents that protect the parish from, anything that happens during construction. It's just standard stuff. We're working through that, but the drawings are 98 to 99% done. And I mean, we're committed to getting that complete,
So we-
by next week.
So we could, my ask is, we could see some additional money coming out for the administration for.
More's gonna come out to-
Once the
Yeah,
project gets started.
and the jury has to, we're gonna own those plans once they're
Yeah.
done, they're ours, but
Yes, ma'am.
if you're gonna commit all this money to this project and it's gonna have to be rescoped, you're dealing with 3.9 minus 357,000 plus the additional billing from September 1st to today.
Right, I think that the whole matter is gonna have to come back before the jury. That allocation was made on the basis of getting the money from the state. If we're not getting the money from the state, we need to reevaluate and prioritize the sewer projects. If we're gonna be covering 100% of the cost, we need to look at it ourselves. And the state is not off base in having a self-sustaining system. We need to look at our own systems that we're gonna be funding to see
Well,
how we're gonna fund those
Yeah, I
systems.
was gonna fund it.
Well, we started to hopefully make some improvements because we went up $6 from the fee, and I think they're starting on January
$9.
25, right?
$9 until
Nine-
33.
We went up $9, and it's supposed, I think we made a motion to start it January 1st, right?
Mhm.
Right? But we're gonna make some improvement. If we're going up on them rates, we gotta put some improvements into those systems. So I don't have a problem with that, but I think we need to get the ball rolling to where we gotta make sure that we improve those sewer.
All I'm saying is this allocation was made with the understanding that we're receiving the water sector grant. It was in combination. We're not getting it. I think we need to revisit the allocation and see how we're gonna allocate that funding to these projects and prioritize the projects. That's all I'm saying. I think that's bigger than this agenda item in this meeting. I think we need to revisit the entire project and decide how we move
Because it's
forward.
gonna have to be rescoped.
Yes. And now that the engineering's done, we should have a lot better estimate of what each system is.
And I
and-
mean, to be honest with you, with the 3.9, I feel comfortable with the upgrades. We got 11 systems of them, 11 systems out there, I think. I think they may have some change left over. I don't think it's gonna cost no 3.9.
3.5,
3.5.
yeah, take out.
Well, just say 3.5. I feel good about that number, but I don't have a problem with that. The main thing, we know those systems are on a spoke.
Oh, I understand that, and I guess I'm just throwing it out there. I think we're gonna have to have some more discussion about this as to, do we fund U of Virginia, or do we table that project completely and fund the repairs
You don't
on the
fund it.
existing systems?
Say
You don't fund you in Virginia, no.
You wanna walk completely away from.
Don't increase the wound. We gotta deal with the already.
Say that again?
Don't increase the wound.
No.
I mean, we gotta fix what we already.
Yeah, that's why you say leave it alone. You say leave it alone, leave U of Virginia alone, and we focus on our 11 systems that we having problems with. We go from there.
Right, but we can't do that until maybe, I don't know, maybe Infinity is ready to give us some estimates for each of those systems.
Okay.
So that we
Yeah,
can have
see
that
where we
meeting and
at.
see, and prioritize them and see what systems we can spend the money on.
Funding there, once we see.
Yeah, that's cool. too.
Right.
I agree with that.
And look, we can pursue parallel paths and petition the Water Sector Commission at the same time. If that falls flat, we still have a plan to move forward with the plans that we're paid for.
If I could jump in for just 1 second, I'm glad you said that because early on in this project last year, there wasn't enough money. When we originally estimated this thing, it's like, okay, well, there's not enough money allocated. And we met with Brian Blankenship, and he came to the office and we wrote all the sites on the board, and we said rank them 1 through 10 from worst to best. And our plan was to have a base bid project, which I think was Ewell, Virginia, because it's the biggest scope item in the project. And then we had alternate bid items that would have 3 lift station treatment plant as alternates in the bid package. We found out after some time that that was not allowable from OCD. So we had to abandon that idea, and then the funds were allocated by you all. And so we're here now, but we originally, we did rank the systems as worst to best condition of what needed to be fixed soonest. So if we need to break the package up later to do smaller chunks at a time, we can do that.
I think at this time, what I would like to see from Infinity is to provide us that same ranking list. You still have that, correct? The priority list.
I took a picture of it on my phone and we met with Brian. I think we abandoned that. I know we abandoned it at some point. I don't know if we still have record of it, but if not, I can meet with Brian. We can do it again. He knows the systems and the condition of them, and we can rank them. And you know, the design is done, and it's just a matter of breaking up the bid packages into, okay, well, this is the one we want to do first because it's the worst part of our system, and we can construct this one first and send it out for bid, and then we can do this one next. If we need to break it up, we can do that.
So I guess what I'd ask you, if you can send us the opinion of cost for each of the systems and that priority list that's been discussed, and then we as a jury can take that under consideration to see this alternate path that we could take. But we're also going to pursue petitioning the Water Sector Commission, and I think we have a very good case based on how much the general fund is putting out now to how much we're reducing that. We're going in the right direction. It's not something that can be done overnight.
Yeah.
You know, and we recognize that we were failed by previous administrations, previous jurors here not increasing the rates over time. And now we're having to deal with that.
I can get that too, no problem.
So I think he just summed it up for you, right?
He did.
He summed it up for you.
He did.
Sound like he would like to go in a direction to where we will petition to try to get that.
To
funding.
maintain the funding.
Yeah.
Right, but we'll also pursue a parallel path in case we lose the funding. We're not at a standstill. We can still move forward.
So where does that put us for November the 15th? Because that's the cutoff deadline.
We can't meet that regardless.
We can't meet it regardless. Okay.
Unless you're ready to charge $55
We'll do that quick.
So my recommendation would
You'll give us a
be,
lot.
if you guys are unable to meet the November 15th deadline and they don't have a set date at this meeting, and that's the only way that you can do it is petitioning them to put something in writing.
Right, requesting to petition the commission
That's what I would
at
recommend.
their next available meeting.
Correct.
Right,
Potentially an extension.
right.
Absolutely. And we
Can you
help
draft that
We sure
for
can.
us?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. The other thing that I would say, and I'm almost finished, I'm sorry, is the second thing that I handed you, since we're gonna pursue parallel paths, is revisiting the asbestos quotes, I'm sorry, not asbestos, the abstract, thank you, the abstract opinion and the abstract title. So that might be something that I do recommend that you decide tonight. That way you have that out the way, if you guys would like. So in the quotes, in your official packets, ignore that, but what I just handed you, take a look at that. And I'm gonna walk you through that. So per the request from last time, we did.
This is for you, Virginia, right?
This would be for you, Virginia, if you guys decided to petition to get that funding. This is only if you guys pursue that path.
No, we're gonna petition it.
You don't even need to petition it, I'm telling you now.
So if we don't, if
You don't want
if
it, you don't
this
want
is his
it.
stance, then why do we even do?
We don't
need to go
over that.
Right.
We don't need to go over it. You gotta look at the long picture. Yeah. Eventually, you won't be at that $55
You're right.
a month anyway.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, I know my people in that area cannot afford it. I know that people that's in other areas cannot afford it.
Yeah,
it's expensive. But we're not gonna
so
force
you
it
wanna,
on
you
them.
wanna walk away from it.
Gotcha, understood. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Everyone have a motion to your thing.
Yeah, entertain a motion to send a letter to OCD, acknowledging that we likely will not meet the November 15th deadline, and we wish to petition to the Water Sector Commission at their next available opportunity, and we're wanting an extension, asking for an extension, knowing that it may not be granted until we meet with the Water Sector Commission.
And you will take care of that, Sam.
Motion by Mr. Diaz.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Update on the account grants coordinator? Update from the account grant coordinator, sorry.
Okay. Request approval and authorization for the president to sign the Community Development Block Grant Program Disaster Recovery Rider from Elos Environmental for the grant administrator for Consine Canal by East St. Vincent. What this is the, normally they include the federal clauses in the contract, but this is just a separate attachment with all the federal clauses.
And this is for the grant administrator to start administering the grant.
Yes, correct.
That's a move. Motion by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval and authorize the president to sign any documents related to the Consine Canal project in Bayou St. Vincent.
This is just, basic forms. Anything that's needed to be, reviewed or updated, we'll get a resolution for.
Motion. And I guess any of these documents that I do have to sign that aren't expressly given here, I'd just like the full jury to receive a copy of it.
Okay.
Whenever at that point. Motion by Mr. Diaz.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval and authorization for the president to sign the rate certification letter to OCD.
This
For
was,
what? You already
this was,
do
yeah,
it?
but this
Yeah.
agenda was done last
This
week
was
before we
done
got that
before,
information.
Okay, you
That's
don't,
why.
no action on it.
This
No action.
Why don't we submit it and force them to reject it? I mean, does it hurt? I mean, at least we're following the process.
No, I think the
No,
rate
but this is
certification
just
letter
you
says you're
sign the rate
agreeing with their,
certification letter,
their,
then-
I agree with the $55.
Yeah.
not you
No.
agreeing with your
No.
stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No,
what
I
the-
agree with
okay.
that.
No, you're not
No.
signing it. Not giving it to you.
Don't be suicide, bro.
All right,
Don't
no
do it. Don't do it.
All right, any other items? All right, update from South Central Planning Development Commission.
We're gonna table this too.
But you ain't purchasing no land, huh?
Well, good evening.
Don't need it.
Pat Gordon with South Central Planning. Did y'all get the sheet?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, we've already discussed, the water sector, I believe. And, also I believe that, on the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Grant, Paul has been talking to OCD. He'll give a report on that, on what project. As soon as y'all figure out what project you're gonna, be applying for, Leanne is gonna, at our office, will put the application together with Paul and have it submitted. We've already discussed, the two Go Mesa projects, that GIS had the pre-bid, meeting on. They were up here. We did attend the meeting, just to make sure that there wasn't anything outstanding that South Central Planning needed to do. It looks like they're gonna do the labor compliance, which is fine. We just wanted to make sure that nothing was left out. We did apply for the capital outlay projects from last year. We put it into the portal for next year.
Mr. Pat, were you able to go in and amend after your submission for that
No, I wasn't.
911?
No, I was not. They make me fill out the whole thing again,
We need
with
to have
all
that done.
new. Well, I was thinking that once you get it in, you could certainly, revise it. That was my plan.
It's not what the jury said, but.
Well, the only other long shot, what we can have is, before our legislatures go back into session, we can, have them to look at that, and when it comes up for, when the commission does have their meetings, they can go ahead and put that, take some of the language out and put the language we want in there.
Right. What the portal does, as soon as you change something, it makes you refill out everything. Get the support letters, get everything. And,
That is part of the process, though.
well, I realize
Yeah.
that, but I mean, you're, kind of running out of time. I thought that if we could just get it into the portal, we could revise it after. Because I know they change, all the time. The applications, once they're into the portal, they allow, some changes.
Just send me what you wanted to say, and I'm gonna forward it, because we're gonna need those same support letters from our delegation. And I'm gonna see if the senator can go ahead and get that language changed to what we wanted to say, but the 911 center.
Okay.
Just send it to me. We're trying to make it out.
Okay, also just to let you know, the LGAP, application period is coming up November 1st. And, you're gonna need to submit to the portal 3 names of individuals that y'all want to, be able to go into the system and file for these applications. Because it's LGAP and let's see, the water.
Community water.
Yes.
Enrichment fund.
Enrichment fund. So it's both of them. And LGAP is 300,000 for all parishes. So I think y'all were looking at 2 trucks with, 300,000, maybe I could do more than just 2 trucks.
So is that something?
When they went up,
That gotta be something, I thought it was 100,000.
No, this is a new, last year that I submitted, I think we got, is it 100? I don't have it. 100,000 or 75,000, something like that, but this is apparently like for the new application.
How much?
Yeah, for the 2024, 2025 fiscal year, the maximum allocation amounts available per parish for LGAP is 300,000. And for CWEF is 350,000. And the grant ceilings for local governments are included in the online portal, so.
Now, we do know the village in Napoleonville tends to get money off of the top of that allocation too, but that is a significantly higher number than in the
Yeah.
past.
So I want
So
to
I don't
bring
know
that to
what,
your
yeah,
attention.
maybe their
it was always
contribution.
100,000.
It used to be about 150, 130. But by the time the village got their money, what we got was about 100. So with these new numbers.
Don't tell the village.
Oh, they know. They know.
They're gonna be waiting on the
So
25%.
when is this submission date?
1st,
November
and-
1st.
and That's when it opens, it's November 1st. And sometime in February that it closes.
Okay.
I mean, you have time, we
We
just. need
really
to-
don't have time if y'all want to add another piece of equipment before our next meeting.
Aaron, speak up.
Well, no, the window opens November 1st, but it doesn't close till February.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
window,
Okay.
that's correct.
All right, I'm
Can-
sorry.
I just want y'all to, because I thought it was 100,000 or 152.
That's the norm.
But once we got this letter, I realized it was 300,000, so you may be looking at a little more equipment than you.
Can you find out from that exactly how much is, I guess, allocated to the village in Napoleonville and how much we actually can budget for?
Sure.
'Cause I think there's a set percentage that the village would receive.
I want to tell
from
you,
that.
I just got the letter today, and of course, the online, orientation was also today, but they did record the Zoom meeting, so I'll take a look at that. But I will find that out.
Do we need to identify the 3 names?
I'd
Now
like
for-
for you to, yeah, maybe for the next meeting, or if you can do it now, it'd be fine. Because, well, that's probably something that, Kim, maybe you ought to submit as the Secretary Treasurer for the parish to submit to LGAP to tell who you want to make these
We do that
applications.
annually. Let me check the files on that. We have that in place already, whether we have to resubmit.
Well, I'm
that.
sure my name's not on it.
Right, I know, but, just let us pull some documents on that.
Okay.
That submission before, when are you gonna submit?
Well, whenever y'all,
We can put that on the November
provide me the
13th agenda.
information, we can put an application
So I
together.
mean, if we need 3 names, then Pat Gordon, Kim Torres, Rayetta Crochet.
I think that sounds.
Simple enough?
You got them now, you got them
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Okay, and the other grant that's coming up soon is the trash receptacle grant by Keep Louisiana Beautiful. Last year, I think y'all got 10 garbage cans, and this year, you're only eligible for 5 high-quality trash receptacles. And there is a 15% match that can be utilized through installation, in-kind services of installation, or even servicing the receptacles can be included as in-kind. And they just say that over the 15% match raises your priority of getting the grant awarded. So I don't know if you have 5 locations or 1 location for 5 receptacles, but it's due November 15th, and your next meeting is November 13th. So we'd like to get some locations and include in the application. Now, maybe I could put the application together without the locations, and then y'all.
I think you're gonna need a location because you're gonna have to go ahead and do some type of feasibility study at the site
That's
to
right.
see
You have to
exactly
do
what
a-
they have.
Pre-litter.
Yeah, pre-litter, yeah, so you're gonna have to put a name on it.
Yeah.
My recommendation, guys, jump on it. Mines are still standing strong, they're in good shape, they're well worth it. And with the parish, with the gentleman in the back, Aaron, his employees, they could put them together, that's your in-kind services, and they could place them. I like them, mine are good,
Aaron, do you know if we have any at the Ag Center?
they
Can we ever
good.
hit that location?
Don't pass it up, it's too free.
We got them at a tac, oh, I know we hit a lot of
We're
parks.
all-
Yeah, they
Yeah,
good.
I'd like at least one at the Belrose Library. We probably
Put your
could
2
use
out
2,
there.
but
Yeah.
at least.
Do that in the department, care park?
We do.
You need some at your park, I mean, get them. They sturdy, they
I don't want
good.
to have bull launch.
They don't have them already?
Ira,
What's that?
you got them?
You got some back there, Bell Rip? I mean, yeah, Bell Rip.
They do, but not.
Trash
these.
cans, trash cans.
Not-
Yeah.
So what you wanna call yours, Barrels,
The ones
Library
from-
/ Park?
Uh, we can call it the
How about a
Belrose
Shelby's
Playground.
bull launch?
You got them.
Yeah.
Bull launch.
Say, bro, they sturdy enough, don't pass up on it.
Melrose Playground too.
Playground.
2 in Bertrand.
2 of them. So one at the library, one at the
Labor Red
playground.
bull launch.
They got some at a technical.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got.
Shell Beach.
Shell Beach.
Okay, we only got one left. We don't even own that.
We
property
can't
yet.
do that, we can't do Shell Beach right now.
We're gonna get another funding
Put
cycle
the other
before
one-
we own that.
Alright, put the other one at the Ag Center.
Ag Center,
You taking 2?
that's gonna be, he's got 2, 2, and 1.
Don't pass up on it.
Okay, that's 5.
But use one identified
4.
location because he's gonna have to
Tell
do
me
a
which 5 you
feasibility
got.
study.
The Ag Center is 1,
Okay, I got that.
and then the, Bertrandville Park is 2,
So we
and
close.
Belrose Playground 2.
Before we get too far off, let me get a motion to approve those 5 locations.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz.
Relocate.
Right, go take it from you?
Well,
Let's read them out first.
Huh?
Let's read out the locations first.
Belrose Playground,
2.
2, Bertrandville Park, 2, and the Agricultural
You got any
Complex
photos?
and Arena, 1.
You got any support? Huh? You got none?
All of mine there, been, at least for what, 3 years now? When we first got it, 2 years, at least 2
Alright.
years.
So I have a motion on the floor with Mr. Diaz for those 3 locations, 5 receptacles. Need a second?
Y'all come in.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Now, Pat, you're gonna have to do 3 separate applications for that? Or you're gonna do one application?
I hope we can do just one
You
application.
do one application
Yeah, that's what I would.
for
Three sites.
For 3 sites, okay. all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't pass up on that one.
Okay, so we'll have that ready for you, at the next meeting. And, we'll submit the application on the fifth, the 15th.
You have any other items?
Excuse me?
I'm not trying to rush. I was just seeing if you had any other items.
No, sir.
All right, I entertain a motion to submit the 3 names to the GAP for the portal as Pat Gordon, Kim Torres, and Rieta Crochet. Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda, update on Ag Center roof project.
I met with Mr. Joseph. He's scheduled to go out tomorrow to revisit the site and to get the project closer to budget, to go and reassess the contents, the guts of the roof, and see what can be salvaged and what can't be replaced, what's messed up and what's not. And hopefully going through that, it's gonna bring the cost of it back down to budget.
All right, no action on that item. Update on courthouse renovations project. So we did receive an updated, estimate or, opinion of cost for repairs to the courthouse, for us to submit as part of RCIP grant. We just got that this past week. I did have a conversation with the architect, relative to that number. He was in the neighborhood of 550,000. That's his estimate of repairs to get the building sealed and, repaired structurally. So we're gonna use that estimate to submit the application to RCIP to notify them that the courthouse is the project that we selected. It was basically just a supporting document. So their, statement, they come back that the building, basically is salvageable, and that's their opinion of cost to repair.
Think that's enough?
No.
Think you could have put some fluff in there? Could have put some fluff in there.
I'm
You just go up, you just go up.
That's just a
Right,
structurally
we're-
matched
that's just
stairwells
structure, I mean,
to
that's
make
not
it
the
structurally
plumbing.
safe. That's not, that's no cosmetics or nothing like that.
That's right. This is only to get the building structurally sound to
Safe.
repair the water and insect damage that has
Yes,
occurred.
correct. This also is a OCD grant, so hopefully we won't have the same issues that they did.
I'll forward that report to the full jury to review.
Question for y'all. I know we have 100,000 approved from LeGap for courthouse renovations. Is that part of this or not? Because I don't want that project to hold us up on future applications.
No, so that project was intended for the bathroom renovations.
Mhm.
As we were going through the architectural basis of it, that's when the question came up
On the integrity of it.
on the integrity of it. Do we spend 100,000 on a building and we don't know if the building's still good? So now that this is there, that releases
He
us to
can
go
res-
back
he
on that
can-
100,000
He can move
project.
forward on that.
Right, the problem that we had, I don't know if you guys recall, they sent a cosmetic package to renovate the bathrooms where we know we need the
The
plumbing
guts.
issues fixed in it. So he is aware of that now, and, now that they're completed their, I guess, structural evaluation, they can get back on
Move
the.
forward.
So with the
renovation.
structure of the building, and you just talked about the plumbing and the issues we've had with sewer and stuff getting backed up, was that addressed
In the report, yes.
in the report?
Yes.
Okay, good,
Yes.
okay, good.
He had a line item in there for plumbing repairs.
Good,
yes.
good.
I think he may have underfunded it, but
Yeah.
this RCIP grant is for over 850,000. He came back at 500, so we have some.
There's some contingency that we're
Yes,
gonna
we have
put in
some
there.
money to play
He
with.
stated in his report that there may be some additional repairs that was not discovered, that won't be discovered until they start tearing into
Tearing
it.
it up.
So his recommendation was that we put a contingency on top of his estimate for the grant amount, and whatever is not spending that grant amount, then we can seek approval from OCD to maybe spend that on something else. If it comes in under budget, but I feel just like y'all, I don't see it coming in under budget during construction. All right, update on fire hydrant project?
So do we need a motion to accept the courthouse project for our CIP?
We,
Probably would hurt.
well, I thought we've already done that, but
I thought we never
We already
identified.
have done that, correct. We had our public comment.
What's the timeframe on
You got me, I can't remember.
It don't hurt to put a resolution in there.
November 30th is the deadline to
Is
submit
the
the
deadline to submit
application
the
for the
application,
project.
so we got time. Yeah, me and Ms. Leanne, now that y'all established a project for me, we can do the application. That's all I was waiting for.
And you saying we already have a resolution saying the courthouse? Just do
That's what I'm
it.
saying, you ought to
Just
give
do
it.
it.
All right.
Yeah, motion.
I
Motion by
apologize.
Mr. Diaz to identify the courthouse, we'll call it, weatherproofing, weatherization project, courthouse weatherization project for RCIP. Motion by Mr. Diaz. And a second? Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Now we're on to the fire hydrant project, Mr. Savoy.
Yes, we held a pre-bid conference yesterday. We had, 4 contractors in attendance. We received a number of questions, which we will be issuing an addendum to clarify, the questions, nothing out of the ordinary. One of the main questions that we're gonna be answering is, and it was brought up by all contractors, is they want a kind of an estimate of how many hydrants we believe we're gonna be able to do within the budget. So we're working on that now. We're gonna provide them with that estimate or number of hydrants that we think we can do for the money we've got. And the other item was we were going to look at possibly pushing the bid date one day to November 6th because of the federal elections.
Does that really impact us, the federal election?
It's a question, it's not listed as a state holiday. However, there are a number of instances closing. So it's a choice. We were gonna consider it out of courtesy. But we don't have to move it. It's not, but I don't think one day is gonna affect the jury one.
Right, we don't meet till the 13th, so I don't.
Right,
think-
so I didn't object to it. It was simply brought up.
Okay, and do you have an opinion of how many hydrants you think we can install with the budget?
With the budget that we have, I'm hoping that we can hit somewhere between the 30 and 40 range. Be approximately a little over half.
All right. Any other questions regarding the fire hydrant project? Thank you. Update on the Tiger Landing project? Mr. Poirier is here.
Sir, I would suggest we go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to enter back in regular session.
Motion by Mr. Diaz to re-enter regular session, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're back in regular session now. Regarding a Tacopah Landing project, no action required. Request authorization for the president to sign fiscal year 2024 EMPG funding agreement of $51,070.89.
Yes, sir. I put that on the agenda. That's a yearly grant that I use to fund my, office with utilities and salaries and that type of stuff.
Motion by Mr. Mathern.
Second.
Second by, Mr. Diaz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request authorization for the president to sign fiscal year 2024 SHSP funding agreement of $17,221.18.
That also is mine, and that one's very restrictive. It'll probably be some radios this year. Also, I can also purchase items for the volunteer fire departments. I think last year we had bought some air monitors for the fire departments. I got a little time to decide what I want to spend that one for, but it's very restrictive.
Motion.
For emergency response.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss Gotcha Canal.
Well, I put it on, but there was some communication that came to us from Mr. Mr.
Oh,
Calabro.
okay,
I'm not real sure
I'm
about-
familiar with what that is.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it as Gotcha. So, what this is, we were contacted by, Delta Land Company. They are putting some property into mitigation, that was part of the original Elm Hall plantation. It adjoins to the Gotcha Canal in the back. And what they asked us to do is to agree to, basically a drainage servitude so that we can go access the drainage canal to go back there on their property so that they can officially record the agreement for the amount of drainage servitude we needed, so that they can put the rest of the property into mitigation. So Mr. Calabro reviewed the agreement and he was fine with it. They've executed it. So now it's here for our approval. Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Sorry. All right, we'll call to order, the regular meeting of the Assumption Parish Police Jury for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. Let the record reflect all members are present except for Mr. Nakia. I'll begin with the pledge, with the prayer, and we'll follow it up with the pledge. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours and that we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, any corrections, to the minutes of September 25th, 2024?
So moved.
Hearing no corrections, have a motion to approve the minutes by Mr. Alcorn. Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment period. At this time, we have public comment for any item that's on the agenda.
Good evening. My name is Velma Anderson. My husband and I bought a piece of property down Popcorn Lane, 114 Popcorn Lane, with the hopes of moving our mobile home there. We're getting another mobile home to live. And I've come up to problems. I went to get a permit for a sewage treatment plant, and the Board of Health has stopped me and saying that there was no drainage ditch. My husband and son have been cleaning out, and we did find a drainage ditch. We went back to the Board of Health and the lady said, yeah, I see that little ditch, but there's no I think she said it has to drain to a main body of water or whatever. So I need help. I mean, we have a mobile home and it's gotta be, they're gonna take it in February, the wood store one, if I don't move the old one somewheres. And I was moving it there for my sons to live. And I talked to Mr. Aaron and he had said that he was gonna, put it on, cause I think they have, I don't know if it's the same problem down College Point or whatever.
Yes, correct.
So I don't know what else to do. I've done all that I can possibly do, and I need help
It's
from
been
you.
there around that addition nut, fire addition nut.
That is, there were,
It's at a dead end.
it's the one that, there's a couple of places tied into that were like grandfathered in, wraps around the front of a wooded area that doesn't go to anything anymore. I don't know if the farmers or the farmer there had filled anything in over the years. So what I had done was the same thing like on College Point, got an estimate to have our right-of-way surveyed to see if we can establish a ditch, or if we had enough room to establish a ditch in our right-of-way to be able to maintain so people can tie into. That's the estimate of Mr. Charlie there, that
We're gonna deviate from this tonight.
I assume it would need to be a drainage project to establish that with the surveying. So
For the
that
survey, we need 24 hours.
Popcorn Lane was the street that I sent to get a quote on. It actually had record of what our right of way was.
Okay,
So it's gonna be able to be surveyed.
okay.
There was a couple of locations that they had no record of a right of way, so they were unable to provide a quote to survey. That street in particular does, so that's why I asked we move forward with making a drainage project to try to help as much as we can.
So Aaron, how does that street drain? What's the closest drainage ditch from where
So-
she?
Highway 308.
So to there, it would be coming back to 308 because there's nothing past the turnaround in the back. Which, for it to connect, to be permanent, to connect to a larger body of water,
Yeah.
we would have to assume some right of ways from the farmer to connect something in the back, or it would have to come to the front.
So where is 112 draining at?
Right, thank you, right next
112.
door to us.
Right.
That's the,
That's the $1 million question.
those
Right.
are.
So you had sewer
Grand-
treatment or you had the old type?
She gotta get a sewer
I have to
treatment.
sue-
She probably got a
You
septic,
had anything
I
on
have
the
2
lot?
septic tanks
Got
on
2.
that land.
old septic tank.
That's what I told the lady. I said,
Yeah.
where did they drain?
Yeah.
And I think behind where we are, I think it used to be a trailer park. Where did they drain?
Old septic tanks drain out into, the raw water goes out into
You
the
didn't give you the
yard.
option of putting a sprinkler system?
She did, but you have to have,
Hold on,
I had,
the lot's
I
too
can, the
small.
minimum is 3, but they have to be 40 feet apart.
We're just in
My
public
land is
comment right now.
96 feet, so I don't have enough.
If Mr. Brewer wishes to deviate for this item at the end of the meeting, we'll deviate forward. We're not gonna discuss our path forward right now. We're just here in the public comment. So, you're fine. We got your comments on record and we'll ask the jury to deviate at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
All right, Drainage Committee report, Chairman Pineville.
Yes, sir. The Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4:20. All members were present besides Mr. Mathern. Item number 1 was tabled. Item number 2, we approved to establish a drainage ditch on College Point. We discussed the drainage concerns at 2373 Highway 308. Item number 5, we're gonna take that up and, is to pay the parish, for the parish to pay electricity bill at 445 Highway 1012. We're gonna,
It was communicated to me by Mr. Blankenship that is located within the district, so I'll be
It
in
is?
contact with the district for
Okay.
them to
Great.
consider it.
so we're gonna have the district, send that bill to the district, correct? Right? No action on item number 6 and 7. Mr. Blanchard is gonna take care of that, sending a letter out for us. Item number 8. We're gonna reallocate the funds for Virginia Street to the correct ward, and item number, job number 93-194, same thing there. Item number 9, we allocated the remaining balance of Ward 7 to Piedmont Sediment Drainage District levee maintenance, Piedmont North Drainage levee maintenance, to Derrick Street, and to Bell Rose Lane Drainage Project. Item number 10, there was no action. Item number 11, we approved to replace the culvert at 117 Touch Street. Item number 12 and 13 is gonna take the remaining balance of Ward 8 drainage fund. And we had one deviation to go out and approve the Go Mesa funding for the Gerald Street project. This for the Mike Street. Mike Street, from the Go Mesa 7, 8, 9 levy improvements. I present this all in form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Drainage Committee report accepted. Finance Committee report. Finance Committee met at 4:52 today. Only member absent was Mr. Nakam. We approved to pay the list of bills submitted through October 18th, 2024, and we approved the budget comparison statements for September 2024. Entertain a motion to accept that report.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel Committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 5 o'clock. All members are present except Mr. Nakam. Item 1, we approved to end the probationary period for part-time maintenance worker effective October 18th, 2024. We approved to end the probationary period for Parish Manager effective October 30th, 2024. We approved to end the probationary period for OSAP Director effective October 30th, 2024. We approved FMLA leave for an accountant. We approved to change the job title for Equipment Operator 1, Grade 5, Step 12 to Equipment Operator Grade 2,
And that's gonna be effective the first day of the next day.
Step 5, Step 18. I present this all in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee report, Chairman Alcorn.
Yeah, Road and Bridge Committee, was held this afternoon. All members were present except for Mr. Nakam. 3 items on the agenda to submit a letter to DOTD. Number 1 is, remove bumps on LA 1 from Labradorville Primary to the Lafourche Parish line. Number 2, requesting DOTD to sweep the outfall ditch from Pecan Grove subdivision to the outfall on 308. And number 3, to fix the road at 438 Highway 1012 in Ward 4.
Patient for the driveway.
In April.
April.
In April. Fix the road and also fix the apron on Highway 1012. Those 3 items, I'll give you those 3 items in the form of a motion, but real quick, I thought Mr. Sabo was. He left. Oh, he must have left. All right, okay. I'll give you those 3 items in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Committee report accepted. Engineering Grants Committee report, Chairman Nakam was absent. We had an update from GIS Engineering for Jolamore Street Drainage Project, Bertrandville Drainage Project, Melrose Lane Drainage Project, and the Constant Canal Project. We had Mr. Ty Westerman with DDG to give us an update from Duplantis. And the project manager, Joe, joined us by cell phone for that part of the meeting to give us an update. We had an update from Infinity Engineering on the parish wide sewer plant improvements project. And we authorized for South Central Planning to draft a letter to send to the water sector, to OCD, to request an extension from the Water Sector Commission, and then notify them that we will be pursuing, that we would wish to speak to the Water Sector Commission at their next meeting to get an extension on the sewer plant project. We had an update from the Accounts Grants Coordinator. We approved for the president to sign the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Rider from ELOS Environmental for the grant administrator for Constant Canal and Bayou St. Vincent projects. We approved and authorized the president to sign any documents related to the Constant Canal project and Bayou St. Vincent project. We approved and authorized the president to sign we did not approve and authorize the president to sign the rate certification letter to OCD. We did not want to raise the rates to the magnitude that they required us to raise them. And that is why we're requesting the extension from OCD so that we can appeal to the Water Sector Commission. We had an update from South Central Planning Development Commission on the various projects that they're administering for us. And in that update, we approved to apply for trash receptacles, 2 at the Belrose Playground, 2 at the Bertrandville Playground, and 1, and 1 at the Ag Center. Sorry, thank you. And we also approved to name Pat Gordon, Kim Torres, and Rietta Crochet as the 3 individuals that are authorized to file applications for LEGAP on behalf of the parish. We had an update on the Ag Center roof project. We discussed the courthouse renovation project and authorized the courthouse weatherization project as the project we will be applying for the RCIP funds for the courthouse. We had an update on the fire hydrant project. Received an update on the Tacopah Landing project. We authorized the president to sign the fiscal year 2024 EMPG funding agreement in the amount of $51,070.89. And we also authorized the president to sign the fiscal year 2024 SHSP funding agreement in the amount of $17,221.18. And then we also authorized the president to sign the definition of easement for the outfall canal that leads to the Gotchaw Canal for the drainage servitude. I entertain a motion to accept this report.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Pondville.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item. Ches Hope discussion, Ms. Kelly Cantrell.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Cantu, and I work for Shea Hope, the domestic violence agency that covers St. Martin, St. Mary, Iberia, and Assumption parishes. I'm here today to ask the Assumption Parish Police Jury to help us acknowledge October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month by proclaiming it and signing this beautiful proclamation. Just a little bit about Shea Hope and a little bit about domestic violence. Shea Hope is a nonprofit organization. We assist survivors of domestic violence that covers intimate partner relationships, both past and present. We also can assist maybe parents who are having problems with their adult children, or even adult children having problems with their adult parents, and also grandparents having trouble with their adult grandchildren. So this would include anything that puts a person in jeopardy, their safety in jeopardy. We're able to assist with doing restraining orders. We have 2 shelters, one in New Iberia and one in Franklin, and anyone in our service parishes are welcome to stay there if they are in imminent danger. A lot of people ask the question of how prevalent is domestic violence. In the United States, 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men, 1 in 10 teens are affected by domestic violence each year. If I know, like, I'm kind of like a numbers person, and I kind of need to understand, like, how big is that number? Every minute in the United States, 24 individuals on average are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking in this country. And in Louisiana, we rank 5th in the nation for women who are killed by men that they know. So domestic violence is very prevalent in our state, and we are always working on trying to raise awareness, gain support, and try to get the word out that we do offer services to those who may be in a unsafe situation, a violent situation. And so that's kind of why I'm here today, to just ask you guys to help us. We can't do it alone. We have to have the help of our community and community leaders to break the silence on domestic violence, and to ensure that every citizen of our communities know what is available to them. And also, you know, we have felt the brunt of some budget cuts this year. And so we are working on having a fundraiser in the spring. So be on the lookout. I'll probably be at another meeting, asking everyone for support, just so that we can continue providing these services free of charge for our survivors. So thank you for your time. And Mr. President?
Sure. Before.
Oh, any questions, by the way?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I do have a question
Yeah.
for you. So I've been in contact with, our principal here at the high school and some other community members in developing our spending plan for our opioid settlement funds.
Okay.
And I guess I was asking if your organization would be willing to participate in the committee, to develop that spending plan, because I think some of it could be used
In that?
in the domestic violence realm.
So what I can do is, so I'm actually from the St. Martin office, so I probably wouldn't be the one to be the one to do it.
Sure.
But someone from our St. Mary office or Assumption office would probably be the better contact for you. But what I can do is I can definitely give you our main line number, and you can call them Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 is when our staff works. We do have, by the way, side note, we do have someone who answers the phone 24/7, 7 days a week. We have night advocates, but our main staff works Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I would ask for our either Sharice P card or Takara Reed. That's our executive director, and I don't even know what her title is. Oh my gosh, I've been here 6 years. She's my supervisor. She's like underneath the executive director. But those two ladies would be the ones who, they're like the big bosses. They'd be the ones who allot whether or not that's something we could help with, and who would be the one. And our number is 337-828-4200.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other
Any
questions?
other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Entertain.
Thank you for what you do.
A motion to
Item-
sign them.
Can we sign it? And would y'all mind taking a picture? I would love to wait until the end of this meeting, but I am 2 hours away from here.
So I have a motion by Mr. Diaz to proclaim October as Domestic Violence Prevention Month, second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank y'all.
Erin, you want to be a photographer?
And hold it up for us. Oh, man, I'm up in the front. Oh,
Well, you can come up here if you like.
I'm gonna go up there, y'all, because I feel like I'm gonna stand out like a sore thumb.
Oh, let us sit in the chair. Let us sit in the chair. You wanna sit in the chair?
Oh, whatever works for
We all
y'all.
stand.
Yeah, let's do, okay. Perfect. Okay.
Golly.
I'm about to say, what is you doing? What is you?
I appreciate it.
Just trying to get my good side?
Take my hair.
You good?
Yeah, they're good. Thank y'all.
All right, request approval to appoint replacement for the board member on the South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority.
We're just gonna keep putting this on until y'all have a name for me.
Anyone have a name at this time?
All right.
No action. Adopt amended ordinance 24-17 to include Bayou Crab Idle Zone.
So
No
last
wake
meeting,
zone.
we had the public hearing, but we failed to take action in the regular meeting, so that's why I had to put it back on.
It's your motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Item 14, request approval for Assumption High's baseball softball fundraiser to receive the nonprofit runner for the Assumption Parish Community Center.
Table.
Item is tabled. And just as a point of note, we actually, in September, last meeting in September, we approved the organization to have the nonprofit rate for the community center. Item 15, request approval of the first phase of the derelict structure procedure for dwelling located at 129 Barbier Lane, Ward 1.
So move, there are pictures in the back.
Yeah.
This is black and white picture that you see?
Oh, yeah. It's burnt, half the trailer is burnt down.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
See through it.
Yeah.
So we know he's not there, but the neighbor tells me who wrote the complaint that he comes there and check his mail. So.
And I'm gonna check on the beacon to see if there's like a current address for him.
Watch, he doesn't sign for his left,
Right.
but he checks his mail. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
That's gonna be on him after that.
Mhm.
All right, have a motion to approve
Yes.
by Mr. Alcorn.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pondville. Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to adopt ordinance 24-18 to levy grass cutting charges totaling $2,725.01.
Motion.
So.
Motion by Mr. Pondville, seconded by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none opposed, motion carried. Request approval for the following occupational license: Bayside Treasures and Fines, Fairport, and Fire Management Solutions LLC.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for the following liquor license: Amber Caviar, November 9th and 10th, 2024, 1213 Highway 662, Morgan City, doing business as Bayou Lewis Athletic Association. Motion by Mr. Patero, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. We do have, two deviations. One we heard in public comment as it relates to, drainage servitude, or drainage, district ditches for, restore properties that are coming in. And the second item is for, Pier 19. It was on last meeting's agenda and we tabled it.
I don't know if y'all want to have a brief discussion about this. Just to see how we'll move forward.
Okay, so, with Pier 19, there was a request on the last, agenda to, hear,
Possibly variance.
a variance for the ordinance, but that item was tabled and was supposed to be on this agenda and it didn't make it. So Mr. Mathern's asking that we deviate for it, for this meeting. And then, we can have a brief discussion, should we deviate for the solid waste budget and the email that was received regarding the increase in rates on, garbage collection. And what is this?
It's the same thing, Pier 19.
This is Pier 19, okay, all right. So it's those three items, they would like to deviate on.
Motion to deviate.
Motion to deviate by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? All right, so now we will deviate, let's handle the, Popcorn Lane issue first. Ms. Velma Anderson, if you could please come up. So in our drainage committee, we had a similar issue for College Point and that was addressed. So we took your public comment regarding a similar issue on Popcorn Lane. So now we'll deviate to hear your issue. So now we're aware of it, we can discuss it.
Okay.
So Mr. Lander, you want to kind of tell us where we are?
So like as of now, I have a quote for the surveying of the street, so they can stake our right of way. which in turn would give us the option to look and see if we can fit a drainage ditch in our right of way.
Okay,
Again, that would be the easiest option,
Well,
which,
behind the houses maybe too.
You got no-
so
you got no
that's,
business drainage.
it'll leave us, if we establish it in the right of way of the ditch, we would still have to continue on and make it connect to a larger body of water, which we'd have to go reassess to see if it can continue going to the back, which that would require right of ways from farmers. If it would have to come to the front, it would fall into the drainage of Highway 308, which leads to Biofush. So once it's flagged, we can see if we can fit it or not, and then we'd reassess.
would this be an option to put a lift station with a forced discharge to 308?
Yeah, yes, if, since we haven't established right away, yeah.
You know, if the survey allows and we don't do a drainage ditch, we could just run the 1.5 to 2 inch PVC pipe that would require, you know, we could allow the resident to run that pipe in the parish servitude to get the
And
discharge.
it could
to
come
308.
to the first two structures on the right on Popcorn have, it's a drainage ditch. It's a small swell that has some culverts. It's just, I don't know if they were established by us or the building owners there years ago, but there's something there. It's very small. It could run to there, 2-308, if the sanitarium would allow that. It's a-
Sweep it and open it up.
Yeah, so it hadn't been maintained.
Sweep it and open it up.
So
But I don't know how far it has to be extended and if we have the right of way along the road to open it up.
We don't have the right of way. You know your neighbors?
I just pulled up the lot. The lot is 10,316 square feet, so that don't even qualify for a sewer treatment.
Jamie, you gotta have something. You gotta have a sewer system. You gotta have a sewer treatment plant. That wastewater gotta go somewhere.
It's supposed to be 12,000 square feet.
Right, this is an existing lot.
It's
though.
existing. Only thing she's
She
doing is
shouldn't, she
replacing.
shouldn't be having all this problem then, that's what I'm saying. If the other ones was grandfathered in, she should be grandfathered.
That's what I said too.
sort of, the only thing that I saw from it is once a structure's removed,
Yeah.
then the new one goes
You gotta
back,
put
it has to be
a new
reworked.
You got.
So it's not, the system that was existing there with another structure is not, it can't be grandfathered in anymore.
Correct.
Jamie, all the ones we did for Frank Lane, all of them got brand new sewer treatment plant. Had to get it. Could not
Yes,
put a new
most-
structure back without putting a new. sewer
And like I
treatment
said, the
plant.
two places in front on the right, they, if I'm not mistaken, they tie into the whatever small drainage that's in that wood line on the south end of the street. But again, it hasn't been maintained in a long time and it doesn't go anywhere anymore. It doesn't go to a larger body of water for it to be permitted.
Do they have someone on the backside of you, further down the street? The last lot?
Nope,
So they had a trailer there at one time.
a trailer and a house.
You have a ditch behind you
There, I say it's a ditch, but she said a little ditch, but
though?
it
Maybe you can
doesn't,
clean out that little ditch.
it's cleaned out. That's what we've been
But
doing.
it, but it still gotta go to a body of
main-
water. Still
main
gotta go to a body of
body.
water.
So you gonna make our project?
Yeah, you might well.
We need it for surveying, but $2,500.
Well, you,
dollars.
yeah, but you only got $3,000 left in you.
Take out your
Good
drainage.
enough?
You wanna take it out your
You ain't
drainage?
gonna have to make it out of project.
Yeah, we definitely want to get it surveyed.
Do they have a ditch on the opposite side of the road? Aaron?
There's no,
That's what we gotta do, $2,500.
it's just, it's one of those, I mean, we have a few streets like that in the parish that never had.
And next
it.
meeting, so we need.
Yeah.
So the action we'll take at this meeting is to, Mr. Bro making a motion that we create a drainage project for Ward 4 to cover the cost of $2,500 for the survey of the property. And then once that survey is complete, then Mr. Landry can look at it and see if there's enough room for us to put a drainage ditch along the roadway or let us know what our options are. So he'll be following up, with you and Mr. Bro on that project.
You say you got till February, right?
So I have a motion by Mr. Bro, second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor?
Public time.
Any public comment regarding, this item under deviation? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
She didn't need it for it. You don't need it?
Next deviation is, Pier 19.
Yes.
So there's a packet that everyone should have here. And, it was the Darrell
There,
Raybould here.
there.
President Blanchard, Jurors, Secretary Torres. My name is Darrell Revere, and I'm here tonight representing the development in Bell River called Pier 19 as one of the owners and managers. Simply what we're asking for is to change the variance from 8 foot to 5 foot.
And that's for
We're ready to start building the second home. Total value of a completed project is somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 million. So it's important that we can get started on this project. We put off about 2 weeks waiting to come to the meeting and trying to get your approval to allow that to happen.
And by doing this, we do the whole subdivision would be.
So I have a question for you. In approving this variant, in the construction plans, the intent is to maintain at least 10 feet eve to eve on the properties?
Yes, sir.
This might be a stupid question, but 8 foot to 5 foot of what is this?
Side.
Side from?
Side.
Side or between the house.
Side.
5 foot.
Yeah, so the 8 foot will be 5 foot. No. Need a motion for that?
Two.
Just letting everybody digest it.
I'll just come to house.
All right. Anybody have any other questions?
Fire chief. Did they put the input in the beginning, right?
I think you're probably waiting on the art.
Well, no, so the ordinance is, defined so that we can maintain the minimum building spacing for fire code. And by going down to 5 feet, you have 5 feet on each side, so you still maintain the 10 feet
Yeah.
between buildings. So, our ordinance doesn't require the fire chief's approval on that. But I can't tell you it does satisfy the construction doesn't require any fireproofing on those, walls facing each other, so.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to serve the corporate variance for Pier 19.
All right, a motion to approve a variance. To 5 feet side variance, second by Mr. Pineville, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank
Oh,
you.
public comment. You did a public comment. Public comment.
Any public comment?
No.
All in favor?
Anybody
Opposed?
reject?
Motion carried.
All right, good to go, guys.
All right, and what was our,
Just
solid waste.
Thank you.
So regarding solid waste,
We're gonna start nailing next week. Yeah.
So there's no action required on this tonight. It's just to let everybody know that we need to consider an increase on solid waste because the fund is, whenever we entered into this recent contract or, and the last time we went up, we were positive on the fund. Now we're negative and eating into the balance that we had in that fund. So we're to the point where we have to consider an increase. $3 per household would generate approximately 309,000. $5 increase per household would generate about 516,000. And if we're, the recommendation from Kim, just for us to consider, is that if we don't give if we don't plan to do another increase in the next 5 years, then we need to consider the $5 an hour increase to be able to cover the increased cost for the next 5 years. So it's just for consideration right now for us to look at it.
Just for something for y'all to think about, that we need to address this to where we need to have an increase come January 1.
I think we're gonna address some stuff once you finish with the budget, and we're gonna look at how we think we're gonna try to.
I know we like to kick things to the curb.
We ain't
just
kicking
trying to
it-
make sure. we're
No,
not
no,
kicking to the
I
curb.
think we're gonna have a financial meeting, we did say we're gonna have that,
Yeah,
right?
so
We're gonna have a financial, special meeting. Did we do
I
that?
never said when.
Yeah.
So Mr. Pineville is requesting that we put this on the next agenda to discuss. So the one thing that the jury needs to consider is the method and how we froze the rates on the residents that were frozen. Right, so we still have some residents that are paying, I believe, $14 a month.
I think we ought to freeze them and make them reapply.
And
Come January 1st.
right, so we need to look at a method, but it's not just saying that we're gonna do it. We gotta figure out a method for how we have the residents recertify that every year. Because we have people that pass away, their kids are moved in that same resident, they're still paying $14 a month for garbage. You know, so if we do it to where they have to recertify every year, then those cases won't fall through the cracks. But I think we have to look at increasing where it was frozen at $14 an hour. It's just $14 per household is just way below cost. You know, that's been frozen for 25 years. So I think we're gonna have to do an across the board increase.
How did that meant to come about? Do anybody know?
Yeah, I actually remember it was in the old administration building here when we had a meeting and the proposed increase was made. There was
Veteran might have
suggesting.
come, maybe did a veteran come?
No, it was suggested by the jury that that all those that had property tax frozen, that they wouldn't incur this additional cost. I think it went from $14 to $17 at that time. And so those were frozen. The next time it was raised from 17, I think, to 21, it was still frozen. So those that were paying 14 never
Yeah,
increased,
they never moved.
you know, so.
I mean, that's what frozen means, but now
Right,
we're to
but-
the point where.
But I think we need to put some sort of a way that resident would have to recertify annually that they're still living there, their property taxes are still frozen.
And maybe we consider a flat fee for the frozen.
Right, a minimum,
Yeah.
right, just a floor.
Right, a floor,
Right.
right.
So that's just some options and maybe we can kick that around before the next meeting, but we'll have it on the agenda for the 13th meeting to discuss that item. So no action, taken on that item.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Diaz,
Sorry.
second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor?